Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is in your hood. I am absolutely Adia.
I'm your girl, Ashley Nicole.
I am the franchise.
CP Tree.
And we are the Quad. Great guest in the building today with us. We love when people bring bomb conversation, but he actually brought food.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Chef Keshon Drew Sr.
Which cannot wait to taste, bro.
For real.
Seriously.
Appreciate it.
Smell got the
Y'all, it
whole
smells
building
wonderful.
smelling
I'm glad,
like
Okay.
I'm glad you looked out for the vegans.
Dude
Appreciate
down the
it.
hall
Glad you
said,
looked out
where
for
is
the
that?
Are you vegan?
Yeah.
That's not
Presbyterian.
quite
Not
vegan.
quite vegan.
With the,
Oh, the salad?
The salad?
Oh,
Yeah,
my
salad.
bad. Yeah, the salad. But I didn't. Okay, I would have made something different had I known.
No,
I had a
no,
vegan.
no. I'm
That's
not
our
picky,
next
bro.
time.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
picky.
I know.
We'll
next
have you
time.
back.
Yeah, I'm not picky.
Have you
Next
cater
time,
event?
I got you.
Presbyterian. But
I got you.
She's like,
That's what's up.
Ashley already trying to book you over here. We ain't even get
Hey.
started
no,
yet.
Hey.
Let's do that. My bad.
Mm.
Yeah,
I
I'm going
got
to give you some connects,
Yeah.
too, bro. People that's from New Orleans that are chefs, master chefs, too, as well, bro.
That's what's up.
Master
All right.
chefs.
Chef Keshon Drew's been cooking since the age of 14 in the
Wow.
kitchen, whipping like stir fry.
There we go.
Yeah.
I know you graduated from, well, you went to Lafani's, right? But you graduated from Culinary Institute of New Orleans.
Yes. Actually, it's two different programs, two different schools. Kefani's is the school I first started in when I was a young whippersnapper. Actually, kind of getting my feet wet in a culinary game.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying, which is a short program, like a 6-week program. It's kind of had fed that itch, and a couple years later, after a couple years of actually on the job in the New Orleans grind, I went back to school, which was the Culinary Institute of New Orleans, and that's where I got my degree, and really got deep, in depth, full, ninja chef. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
that's what's up.
Ninja?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not
Yeah,
mad at
ninja.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know. So, would you say at the height of your career was when you were making 6 figures as a chef?
Not really. Actually,
Drop the mic
I
on
mean,
that?
some people would say that, but I don't really say that because although I love money and we need money, it was a dope job, a dope experience. I made ridiculous amounts of money. My new journey that I'm on now as my own, business owner, I'm an entrepreneur grind is actually the best. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm enjoying this journey. This is what it's really about. This is what I actually always wanted to do. I had to learn what I had to learn throughout that, side of the journey, and this is a different side, and I'm loving it. So that's what it is.
So, what made you get into the culinary?
Well, as you know, being from New Orleans, one of the food capitals of the world.
Mhm.
The world.
Yeah.
Emphasis.
Yeah.
Y'all hear that
You know
emphasis?
what I'm saying? Let me say that right. The world.
The world.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Food is like a big part of our lives. It's part of our livelihood. It's part of family. It's part of our city. When you think of New Orleans, one of the things you think about is food. So growing up in that city, in a family that we have chefs in my family, deep-rooted food family, big mama Sunday type of
Yeah.
every day, you know what I'm saying? Every
Yeah.
weekend is
Most
going
definitely.
down type of family. So just growing up in that environment, and my mother was actually one of the best cooks in my family, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So being around that, I just kind of got that already, in my blood, is in my bloodline. And my first job at 14, luckily, I thank my mom all the time. She made me get it at the time. I hated it, but it was in the kitchen, at a nursing home she worked in. So that was actually the beginning of me actually getting paid to cook was at 14. You know what I'm saying?
What-
So
What
that's
is
it
your favorite restaurant in New Orleans?
Restaurant in New Orleans, I would say, that's a hard
Yeah,
thing to
that's
say
all. Yeah, I
because
know.
it's
'Cause
so
That
many-
is
It's
a
New
tough
Orleans,
there's so
right?
many good
question.
restaurants.
Right.
But I would say this what I'm about to
Yeah,
say
that's
because
tough,
I actually worked in it and I know the standards, I know the quality, I know everything, the ins and outs, and this was a place that actually made me the chef that I am. It gave me like the foundation that I actually need, to be what I call a real quote unquote chef. Because there's a lot of people that's perpetrating the chef game. Like,
Yeah.
everybody is chef. Now it's like I don't really think so, but okay. You know what I'm saying? But it's Palace Cafe, which is a Brenner's restaurant, and if
Palace Cafe.
yeah, you said the
Okay.
name Brenner's
Yeah.
from New Orleans. If you know
Yeah,
anything,
everybody knows
that's
that.
that's synonymous with New Orleans. That's like the upper echelon of New Orleans cuisine. It's the Brennan's family. So I worked in that restaurant. I learned the most in that restaurant. Yeah, I worked there twice, and each year each time was like 2 years each. So
yeah, I only been there one time, man, because it's kind of expensive.
It's dope.
It's dope, though.
Yeah,
It's
dope.
fire. Real nice restaurant.
Dope restaurant.
So you said you started cooking, or you got your first paid job, 14 years old.
Right.
When did you say, you know what, this is me. I'm gonna do this. Like, was it at that time? When was it?
Well, I had like several different stages because like I didn't know I was going to do this. It's just like one day I realized I was meant to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because after high school, I went to school to be an accountant. You know what I'm saying? Because my favorite aunt is the accountant for NASA in New Orleans, in Michigan. Like she run the whole accounting department, and she actually named me, and we were real close. So, I was always real good in math. And so I thought that was going to be my path, but I was actually following her path, you know what I'm saying? And throughout me growing and working, it was always in a restaurant, some form of fashion. I actually met Dia working in a Subway. I worked in a Subway. She just be come trying to get the free sandwiches.
That was when I first started.
Fresh
Was trying to get free.
Trying to get the free sandwiches.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But so I always worked in food.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? It's crazy because like my senior year in high school, like I always was like a nerd, but I was a street dude because I grew up in the bricks as a snap in the Iberville project in New Orleans. So I kind of had that street side. And in 12th grade, I was actually expelled from school. And when I think about it now, it was a blessing in disguise because I had to get a job. Now, what saved me is that I had a 4.0 GPA. So I was allowed to go to summer school and finish school. I just couldn't graduate with my class.
Yeah.
And I got a job in a restaurant. And I never forget one day I was working. I was a dishwasher at the time and became a prep cook. And I remember one day I was just washing the dishes and I was looking at the cats in the kitchen, the chefs, and I'm just looking and I'm peeping them in. I don't know. It's kind of like one of those light bulb moments. You know what I'm saying? So that was like the first real moment. And that kind of like led me to that path. But after high school, I went to school for accounting, but I always worked in restaurants. And then like just one day I was in class and you know, it was always easy to me. Like math is easy to me. So the accounting program was super easy. It's just like one day I was in class and I'm like, I can't be no accountant, man.
Yeah.
Same me.
I don't even want to be an accountant. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm tripping. Like, what am I doing? You know what I'm saying? So it was like one of those moments. And then I was like, okay, well, and then, you know, you kind of get the flashbacks and like, okay, well, I'm actually really meant to do this. And that's when I really went to culinary school and, you know, did that and just went, 4 feet, 2 feet forward and put that to the metal. You know
I always like to hear
Yeah.
those light bulb moments.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
inspiring.
And just to touch on that just a bit, with new chefs or, students that are looking to go into that field and the art of culinary, what would you say would determine your route as far as you going with your market, for your target audience, for your cuisine? Would you say go to your roots, or would you base it with experience, or some kind of way find a way to intertwine the two?
Actually, I would say both. I mean, you have to know what you're doing, so you need to learn as much as you can and really understand that you're constantly learning.
Right.
Like I've been doing this my whole life, and I'm constantly learning. And no disrespect, and I won't pat myself on the back, but I'm dope. But I know it's so many.
Of course.
But I understand there's so many more levels to climb. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm really trying to be like one of those cats. Like when I dream, when I look in my mind, when I'm dreaming, like I see myself like so far from where I'm at now. It's crazy, and that's what I'm trying to get to. So you can't be complacent. You have to constantly learn, constantly stay on your grind. Constantly know that you're gonna always be a student, no matter how great you become.
Right. That's good. That's good. That's good right there.
And then as far as like your target audience, like one thing I pride myself about is that I think I have the ability. Well, I know I have the ability to cook like all levels of food. You know what I'm saying? And then one thing about being from New Orleans is you can find good food anywhere. Like you can go to a gas station, you can go to a white tablecloth.
For sure.
You can go to your people down the street. You know what I'm saying? So it's really that type of level. So you really gotta. Everybody have to eat, so you really have to be able to like tap into every demographic, and
That's good.
Yeah. So that's what it is.
So, be you being an executive chef, what is the next step after being an executive chef?
Well, there's other levels depending on if you companies, like certain companies you work for. Like if you work for a company, you can be like a regional chef or those type of things and different levels of that. But me being an entrepreneur is just me.
Yeah.
Like there is no level. And I can climb my business to certain heights, which is which is a new aim and the goal of
right.
you know. But if I was working for a company, it would be like regional chef. I mean, there's even actually, depending on the size of the company, guys that's running like half of the country or even the whole company. I mean, the whole country. So there's certain levels like that depending on the country, the company you work for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now I know that you started your own business around March 2015.
Right.
What have been the biggest obstacles to being a chef running your own business?
For me, my obstacles are pretty unique because of my own personal situation. Like I'm new to Dallas, so I started a business in a new city. You know what I'm saying? Which is kind of unheard of, but that's how much I believe in myself. Like I know. You know what I'm saying, like I'm tried and proven. Like I didn't really battle tested, and I'm really trying to be cocky, but like straight up, like I've been in the grind, I've been in the trenches, and I know
that's about you.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
cocky.
Okay.
Nah, but like
confident.
but when you know, like I humbly say that because when you know, you know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I knew. I'm like, man, look, I know cats. Like I'm telling you, most chefs whack. They suck. Like you go to these restaurants, and a lot of times the chef's not even cooking.
Right.
It's like some other cat, like some Mexican or some black dude or somebody that ain't even getting a shine.
Right.
And the
You know what I'm
crazy
saying?
thing about that is we moved here around the same time, and he hit me up. We go out to eat, and he would find the most off the beaten path places and hit me and be like, "Hey, I want you to meet me at this place." This dude took me to a Korean grocery store, but they had like all these restaurants, like these, like you would not know if you had never been in there. And they had some of the best food. And then he hit me and be like, "Meet me at this taco place." We go there, and they have. And not only does he find places with amazing food, he wants to know like who's cooking the food, who's in the kitchen. He's asking questions. Like I had never seen anybody do that before, and I think it speaks to how well-rounded he is as a chef.
Thank you.
That not only is he interested in being a good chef, but also acknowledging good chefs and learning from them. I think as an entrepreneur, you can, like he said, you can never stop learning. There's always something to learn, and that's something that I was very inspired by just watching him. Is that he's always learning, always taking information. I've seen him grow so much since he moved here and started his business.
Thank you.
And the food is so good.
I can't wait to have some. Can't wait to have
What
some.
is your favorite dish?
You mean to cook or to eat?
Both.
That's a good question.
Right.
Great question.
Like for real. Like the cook is easy.
You can name more than one, man.
The cook is easy, and it's everybody kind of gets weirded out when I say this because they don't really understand it. But for me, the cook is really about learning new stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I made that pasta a certain way because I have to make it next weekend for my little nephew, godson is graduating. He graduated the other day, and his party is next weekend. So I made that intentionally because I'm trying out a new way to make it, in my mind. So I'm gonna see how y'all receive it. I taste it, and then I'm gonna tweak it for next time. But for me, it's all about learning new stuff as far as like cooking. Like I want to know something I don't know about and add it to what I know, so that way I can flip that. And then next time I hit you with something way left. You know what I'm saying? And then as far as like eating, I will probably say like gumbo, like probably like gumbo or crawfish. You know what I'm saying? Like something simple
like
like
your
that.
gumbo though? You're not with wieners, right? You're not.
That's
what you said.
I wish I had a whistle because I'd blow it because that's a flag on the flag. You know what I'm saying?
No, some people have
Right. But we official. We official. Somebody throw a flag on it.
Especially in Texas, people would really cook their gumbo with wiener.
I've seen some outlandish.
I ain't never seen that.
You never seen
You hear
that?
that?
No,
he
did
said
you
it
see
was
those
wiener.
videos where people
I've
been
seen
putting
that, kid. I've
eggs
seen that.
and all
Yo.
kinds
Y'all
of
never seen
In they
that?
gumbo?
totally
Gumbo.
disrespectful.
I've seen that.
Yes, y'all ain't never seen that?
Like what?
Seriously? In
Yes,
Texas, they
I've
do
seen
that
it.
hard out here in Texas, bro.
It's
Okay,
crazy.
that's probably a
It's crazy.
Texas thing.
But sometimes you just can't afford to get the D&D.
That's the thing. That's true.
You know what I'm saying? You can't get the proper smoke sausage.
Don't make it if you can't afford to make it.
No, but I'm saying,
Make another dish.
It's
saying.
available. We just that your what had happened was your card got get the, you know what I'm saying? Your funds get transferred like day after tomorrow, so you gotta ride with the
The way
Wheaties and
your
like.
bank account is set
No,
up.
man, that's what
that checking and savings, huh?
Yeah, that's
You got
what
the
yeah,
checking
that's what happened.
and the
You know
savings.
what I'm saying? For real.
That's funny, man.
So you like your gumbo like full of meat or less meat? Or
My favorite. This is my favorite.
Cause I like my gumbo.
I meant to bring y'all some business cards on the back of my business card is because that's one of my signature dishes. When people ask me about signature dishes,
it's on the website, right?
Yeah. It's actually it's on there, and that's a dish that took me years to perfect.
Oh, you saw the picture?
So that's why I say.
I'm telling you, his website should have a scratch.
I know he. I know he didn't put no wieners, and that's why I brought it up.
No wieners.
But as far as gumbo, my favorite way is the way my grandmother used to make it, and she used to put potato salad instead of rice.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you know my grandma
used to. That's the real old school, yeah.
Wow.
You know my grandma
to
used
eat
to
it with the potato salad.
Oh, I gotta try that gumbo with the potato salad. We gotta try that.
Right? Oh yeah.
My grandma used to. My grandma used to put
right.
My grandma used to put sweet potato pie in the gumbo.
Whoa,
sweet
yes.
potato pie
in the gumbo?
Yes, it's like a little dash of it, dish of it. She'll put sweet potato
Just
pie.
a little hint.
It's a little, it's a little Opelousas thing.
Sweet potato pie in the gumbo.
I'm interested in that. I think that's dope.
I know you are.
Don't
he gonna make it. He gonna make it next week.
Don't put it in the gumbo while you making the gumbo, but
Right.
after you dish the gumbo out, then you can put it in there.
Oh,
and let the people eat it. Yeah.
That's dope.
Oh, all right.
I guess my next question
is
is,
do something different.
with almost 30 years under your belt, what is the next thing that you're looking to launch within your own company? You being your own boss now, will we get a cooking show soon?
Well, it's actually it's funny. It's funny you said that. It's funny you said that.
Yeah,
you could come do cooking with the quad.
No, it's real crazy and funny you said that.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that segment.
But no, you actually spoke like truth. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk.
Speak it in existence. Let's do it, man.
No, you spoke something that's going to happen.
Hey,
yeah, that's going. As far as like what's coming up next, of course, build and grow. But as far as products, I'm gonna be launching. It's gonna be Chef Key Creole seasoning type of deal coming. I'm gonna do a Creole seasoning, and I'm gonna do a whole roux line. You know, when you go in the grocery store, you see the roux line for the gumbo. But see, this is the twist. And if you hear this, don't take my idea. I shouldn't say it.
Give your idea.
Yeah, hold on.
But I'm gonna add put it like this. I'm gonna add a twist to the whole roux game.
Yeah.
I won't corner that market. You know what I'm saying? But as far as cooking shows, the cats that I started working with in the whole movie industry, as far as catering, we actually got click tight, and one of them worked for Spectrum, so I was doing situations with Spectrum, and then together he and one of his friends own their own company.
Okay.
You know, so we actually gonna do some things in a certain cooking show with a niche is coming. You know what I'm saying? So
look out for that.
In other words, y'all gotta stay tuned.
Yeah,
okay, Chef Key in the building.
It's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
Okay, you brought up the movie set situation. I know you catered a movie set, and you also have done 2 commercials this year. So, how do you go about booking? Do they come to you? Do you seek out those bookings?
Well, actually, how I got into that situation, it was like since I've been a business owner, one thing I learned is to talk to as many people as you can and just be open for opportunities. Because I met these cats on a regular day, chilling. Like it wasn't even like I'm trying to seek out anything. It was just chilling. We vibing, we talking. They just so happen to do this. I do that. I found out they do movies. They found out I was a chef. I'm like, well, you know, this was like my first year in Dallas. So of course I'm trying to do whatever I can, whenever I can, however I can. So when I found out what they do, I'm like, well, check this out. How about I just come through one day and just do a tasting? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I came through one day, they chilling. 3 guys, 3 business partners, and I do something way left because, of course, being an African American chef, a lot of times people expect certain things. So what I did was I hit them Asian style.
Yeah,
I made some lo mein with I made some smoked brisket lo mein, and then I made
Everybody was like,
I tried to kill him. I tried to kill him. You know, I be trying to
Smoked
like, come on, man, like,
And what else?
And then I have these egg rolls I do with like smoked chicken and shrimp.
I'm making a list.
Smoked chicken and shrimp egg rolls.
So I hit him with that, and it was like, you know,
see how y'all
once
are?
we get right, once I hit him with that,
vegetarian down there?
it was pretty much a wrap.
So he eats seafood though.
Yeah, I eat seafood.
Okay, well you can do the shrimp then.
Okay, yeah, seafood. All right, now I know that's what's up. But so that's how we clicked up, in that fashion. And then when it was time to actually work, we worked, and you know, we vibed already on a personal level. You know what I'm saying? One thing about business is you have to work with people, so people have to like you. If people don't like you, then you ain't doing no business.
Right.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So we just vibed and clicked, and that's what it is. But we have situations that's coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's what it is.
Sounds good.
I'm with it.
All right.
Well, the time has come for us to go and
Taste
taste
this.
test.
Yeah, we're gonna go eat some food.
We about to eat.
We're about to eat, and we will catch y'all on the flip side. You are listening to The Quad.
The Quad.
Hey.